triangle is a shape we're all familiar with. It just means it's something with three vertices. One endpoint is called a vertex. You have the plural form of that. These are referred to as vertices. We all recognize and are familiar with what a triangle is. So you have a shape with three lines that connect in three places. That's a triangle. When you have three lines and they do not connect, you had something like this. This gap would prevent this from being referred to as a triangle. And the reason that is because of the Triangle Inequality Theorem, which tells us that the sum of any two sides of a triangle must be greater than the third. So you're going to have two types of problems. The first one we're going to go over, I want you to work this out with me. What you just have to do is add up two of the sides and determine if they're larger than the third side. So what is 3 plus 9? It is 12, of course. And 12 is greater than 8. Then I would take these other two sides. I would say 3 plus 8. And that's 11, so that's greater than 9. And then I would take 9 plus 8. That's 17, which is greater than 3. So I look at this and all three of these checks out. So I would say, yes, this can be a triangle. If I had something and all three sides were 3, 9, and 8, that does work. If I were given three side lengths and they were 37, 21, and 13, and I wanted to determine, can I form a triangle with these three side lengths? I would look and say 37 plus 21. That is greater than 13, so that part works. 58 is larger than 13, so 37 plus 13 is 50, and that is greater than 21. Last thing I would do is 21 plus 13. That's 34, and that is less than 37. So I would look at this one and say, hey, because this last part doesn't work, this cannot be a triangle. And I would answer this question no. So all you have to do is add up two of the sides. And if it's larger than the third, then it works. And you have to have that true for all three sides. The next type of problem you'll see is they're going to give you two side lengths. One could be 8 and the other one could be 5. What you have to do is what the rule tells us to do is add these two things together and say 8 plus 5, which is equal to 13. And then you subtract them. You say 8 minus 5, which is equal to 3. What this does is define a range for you. So the number cannot be smaller than 3, but it cannot be larger than 13. So I would create an inequality that says x is less than 13. Then I would create another one that says x is greater than 3. And you're just going to put these together. 3 is my low number. So it is less than x. And then 13 is my high number. So I'll create another less than sign. So x is bigger than 3, but it's smaller than 13. So any number that would be inside of this would form a triangle. And this is the inequality that you would have. We're going to work these other problems out together. So I want you to pause the video here and then see if the numbers 3, 7, and 8 can form a triangle. Take 3 plus 7 to begin, which is 10. That is greater than 8. Then I would do 3 plus 8, which is greater than 7. 11 is a larger number than 7. And then I would say 8 plus 7, which is 15, is greater than 3. So the answer to this would say yes. This can become a triangle. If I have 3 side lengths and they are 3, 7, and 8, then yes, this would work. The next problem is if you had to form your own inequality and you were given the numbers 8 and 11 and you're trying to determine what could the third side be. There is a range of numbers that are possible, and you have to determine what they are by either adding these together or subtracting them and then creating an inequality. And I want you to pause the video and do what you saw in that first example. So our first step is to take 8 plus 11. That is equal to 19. Then I would say 11 minus 8, which is equal to 3. So I know that the numbers that would work, we're going to refer to those as x. They have to be bigger than the number 3. So I'm going to say x is greater than 3. And then they must be smaller than the number 19. So I'm going to say x is less than 19. Now I have a range and I can set up my inequality. I would start with the number 3. I would say it's less than x, which must be less than 19. One more, I want you to try this. So you're going to pause the video and then work it out the same way we just did. So the first thing we do is 9 plus 5, which is equal to 14. And then 9 minus 5, which is equal to 4. So I have my inequalities that I want to set up, and I'm saying x is greater than 4. And x also must be less than 14. So my answer would start with my low number, which is 4. We'll put a less than sign, put the x, less than again, and then 14. And it would read 4 is less than x, which is less than 14.